Hello guys, second video for the day. If you finish the first page, or the first packet of worksheets, is how to divide decimals by decimal small numbers. Quick review again. The 5 steps to division still apply. We're going to divide, we're going to multiply, we're going to subtract, we're going to bring down, that's a horrible B, horrible D, and then we're going to begin again. So with that being said, let me give you a quick little example of what we're going to be doing today. And that is dividing decimals by decimal small numbers. We have 24 hundredths divided by 4 tenths. In this problem, the first question I have to ask is, do I have any decimals in my divisor? And this time, yes, I do. So with that being said, we have to do flashbacks. What is division? Division is dividing, write this down please, things into equal whole number groups. Keywords: whole number groups. In this problem, or any problem to where there's a decimal in the divisor, you do not have whole number groups. That is the only way we can do division, is to divide into whole number groups. So now you might say, how do we do this problem then? And I am making all of my work at the bottom go away real quick. Y'all copy this down. If you have to, hit pause before I erase it. How do we work a decimal divided by a decimal problem? Well, the first thing I've got to do is move the decimal on the 4 tenths to a place after it, so I wind up with 4 as a whole number. Now you might say, why am I moving this to the right? Here is why. I can multiply 4 tenths times 10. Let me stack this up a different way. That gives me 40 with 1 decimal place. And that equals the whole number 4. Now, what this accomplishes is this moves the decimal, as you see right here, and it gives me a whole number 4. But right now, as it is, if I write 4 divided into 24, that's not the same problem as this, is it? I'm absolutely going to get different answers. So if I multiply my divisor by 10, I need to multiply my dividend by 10 also. Well, anything multiplied by 1 is going to give me the numbers you started with. And I can see in my original problem I had 1, 2 decimal places. Sorry, y'all. I knew I was forgetting something. When I multiply 10 times 24, I should get 240. Ooh, OCD there. 240. And in my problem, I can see I have 2 decimal places. So I will place my decimal right here. My new problem is not going to be 24 divided by 4. It's going to be 2.4 divided by 4. All of this may look confusing, but you will catch on in time the more we practice. Now, when I divide, I will get the proper answer. So as in the previous video that you did today, first question I'm going to ask, do I have any decimals now in my divisor of 4? No, I do not. So I'm going to take my decimal straight up, and now I'm going to divide. How many times will 4 divide into 2? Cannot do groups of 4 out of 2. So I'm going to look at now how many groups of 4 can I take out of 24. That will be 6. Multiply, and I have my answer. And that is the small, quick, introductory way that you divide a decimal by a decimal. Let's go on to the next page and do several examples to help you catch on to this. And this has been dividing decimals by decimal small numbers. Please write down every example as we go. Rewriting the problem when needed, which will be needed every time. All right, first problem. We see 2 7/10 divided by 9. And just like I'm going to ask every time, do I have decimals in my divisor? Yes, I do. I'm going to multiply this by 10 so that this decimal moves one place and gives me 9. But I'm also going to multiply my dividend times 10. This decimal will move one place because of that 0, and I will have a 27. Now that I'm done, and I've moved my decimals, I no longer have a decimal in my divisor, I can divide. 27 divided by 9 will be 3. 3 times 9 is 27. When I subtract, I have nothing left to bring down. My answer to this problem is 3. Let's go to problem number 2. First question to ask, do I have any decimals in my divisor? Yes, I do. I'm going to multiply this number by 10. It makes my decimal move one place because of the 0. I wind up with 12 divided into. If I move this decimal one place, I have to be fair and move this decimal one place. So 36 times 10 is going to make my decimal move one place to have a 3 6/10. Now, move your decimal straight up into your answer. And now divide 36 divided by 12. Goes 3 times. My answer is 3/10. Let's go to problem 3. Do I have a decimal in my divisor? I sure do. I need that decimal to move one place right, so I'm going to multiply by 10. That's going to give me 4. But if I multiply 4/10 times 10, I have to multiply the 6 400 times 10. Make the decimal move the same number of places right. I'm left with 60 4/10. Now I can start my 5 steps to division. Those are divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, begin again. Can I divide 6 into 4 groups? I sure can. There will be 1 in each group. 1 times 4 is 4. When I subtract, I get 2. Bring down my 0 and begin again. 20 divided into groups of 4. There will be 5 in each group. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract. You get 0. Bring down. And I'm going to divide 4 into 4 groups, and that will go 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. And I wonder how many of you were sitting there going, Mr. Green, you didn't take your decimal straight up. You're correct. You can do it at the end as well. So our answer is 15 1/10. Let's go to problem number 4. Do I have any decimals in my divisor? I sure do. I need that decimal to move one place right, so I'm going to multiply by 10. I will wind up with 26. And if I multiply my divisor by 10, I have to multiply my dividend by 10 and make the decimal move the same number of places. 26 divided into 52. And for those of you that don't know, that goes 2 times evenly, and it gives us 52. Let's go on to the next page. I'm going to do this page of examples as well. That will leave you with 3 worksheets to do on your own. 4 or 5 problems each page. It's not much. Problem number 1. I must multiply by 10 before I start. My pencil suddenly got very large. Still very large. Once I multiply by 10, my decimal moves one place right. I wind up with 3. And I have to multiply the 1 5/10 by the same 10, make the decimal move the same number of places. I wind up with 3 divided into 15, which is 5. Problem number 2. I have a decimal again in my divisor. I need it to move one place right. I'm going to multiply by 10. Then my decimal will move one place right. That gives me 8. I'm going to multiply this number as well by 10. It makes my decimal move one place right. I will wind up with 26 4/10. Take your decimal straight up. And now begin the steps to division. 5 steps to division are divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, begin again. How many groups of 8 are there in 26? I believe that will be 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract, bring down, and we can see that I got to use 3 again. 3 times 8 is 24. I have 0 left. There's nothing left to bring down. My answer is 3 3/10. Number 3 should be fairly easy. We're dealing with the same digits, but we do have to move our decimal one place right, so that means multiply by 10. That will give us 45. Divided into, I have to multiply my dividend by the same 10. Make the decimal move the same place right, one place right. I'm going to be dividing 45 into 4 5/10. Take your decimal straight up. Now the only question is, and don't strain your brain here, how many times will 45 divide into 45? It goes one time. With nothing left over, I can see my answer is 1/10. Number 4. Move your decimal one place right by multiplying by 10. Move this one place right by multiplying by 10. I wind up with 17 divided into 34, which goes 2 times. 2 times 17 is 34. Please finish the problems at the bottom of this page. And you should have 3 more worksheets. Simple worksheets left. I thought where you multiply by 10 on both numbers, just as in the examples. Show all work. 1, all of which are fairly. Work those on your own. I'm sorry, there's just 2. There was 3. Those on your own. There are 8 problems. Show all your work on the page. I want to see 2, 3.